Hi, today we will understand what is a variable and various types of variables that are there in Ansible. Also, we will see the practical demonstration of how to use these variables in Ansible playbooks. Now, let's understand what is a variable first. A variable is a way to store and manage values that can be used dynamically in the playbooks. The purpose of the variables in all the programming languages or in the scripting languages are same. Now let's see what are the different types of variables that are there in Ansible. So the different types are like host variables and group variables and some command line variables, list variables, dictionary variables, and there are few other types of variables also there in Ansible. And now we will see the practical demonstration of how to use these kind of variables in Playbook. Okay, I'll create a playbook first, creating a file with the name demo. Now let me start writing the playbook. As you know, the playbook always starts with three hyphens, and then I'm adding my target host name over here. My target host name is localhost itself, means my playbook will be executed within my Ansible controller. Uh, Here I want to declare my variables. So these we call it as host variables. I'll add my variable name as app name. I'll add value something like web app and another variable env dev, and I will add one more variable name username. The value I'll add is test user. Okay, I have added these three variables. Now I want to use these three variables in my actual tasks. For that I'll start adding the tasks section over here. Now I want to print these three variables in the Ansible console output. For that, there is a module called debug module. Let's get piece of code from the documentation. I'll switch to Google and search for module. Ansible debug module. Uh, this is official documentation. As you know, docs.ansible.com has official uh, uh, documentation for all our playbooks. So I'll take this piece of code, and this is when condition, which we don't need as of now. We will discuss about conditionals in later point of sessions. So I'll switch back to my terminal and paste my playbook over here, adding adjusting my indentation to make sure it will not throw any syntax errors. So let me update this print statement, print variable values. Okay, I'll update this message as um, the app name is the usage of the variable should be in double flower brackets. So app name, this is my variable name, app name, comma, env is, again same syntax, env, and username is username. So similarly, we can use the variables wherever we want in our Ansible playbook tasks. So let me save it and run this playbook. Ansible hyphen playbook demo.yml. As you can see, this is what the print statement that came in our console output. So app name is web app. This is what the value we have provided for the app name variable, and environment is dev, username is test user. So this is how we can use the variables in our Ansible playbooks. Similarly, like we have other kind of variables like list variables and group variables, dictionary variables, and a lot of other variable types in Ansible. So let's take a look at the documentation to understand how we can use other type of variables. Ansible variable types. Yeah, this is what the documentation we can take a look at. As you can see, simple variables, list variables, dictionary variables, combining variables, like merging variables, registering variables, all these kind of variables we have. So let's go through a few of them. So this is what we have used, like host variables um, and list variables. So let's understand how we can use this list variable. So I'll open the playbook again and update this username as list. For example, um, I will add something like enter temp user, and I'll add one more value as demo user. So in Ansible playbook, this is the way of defining a list. So I want to print the second username. For that, I should provide like this. Let me show you in the square brackets. I should provide the um, index of that value which we want to use. So 0 index test user, temp user is one index, and second index is demo user. Now I'll save it and let's run it and see how it works. As you can see, temp user. So from the index 1, it has printed the value. This is how we can use list variables, and this list we can use for iteration as well. So we can write some loops in Ansible playbooks to iterate over dictionaries or over the list and use this variable. So we will cover that in later point of sessions. And similarly, like dictionary variables, we can even use like variable name value and using the variable name value like this. And so instead of the index, we should use the actual variable name that is inside, that is like the variable name, nested variable name we have to use. And combining variables is like merging variables, like with this place operator we can use. And combining dictionaries, registering variables. So this is an important type of variable that we generally use in most of the use cases. So let's cover that up. This variable type is used for registering some console output in a variable, and that can be used in other tasks. So say for example, I'm installing Apache in my server or any web server or any application. I want to register, I want to store that output in a variable and use that output as an input to some other variable. So for that kind of use cases, we can use these registering variables. So register, let's cover that up. Let me open my playbook again. I want to store something like, so let me write a task to install a package. Install Apache package. Let's check for a module. Ansible install package module Ubuntu or Debian, anything. uh, apt module is the official module that we can use to install a package in the Ubuntu operating system. So let me go down all the way and take this piece of code. I can even delete this line and add the entire task over here. So let me paste it. Let me adjust the indentation. We should we must follow the indentation to make sure we will not be getting any syntax errors. Um, Now HTTPD or Apache, anything is same. In Red Hat or CentOS we call it as HTTPD, but in Ubuntu we call it as Apache. So what it does is, this is my package name and state is present, means we can provide it as present or latest to install the latest package that is available to install. Now I should run this uh, task with the user sudo. So I have to use become true. So this will execute this task with the root user so that we will not get any permission issues. Now what I want to do is I want to register this output, this task execution output in a variable called installation status. um, I'll save it. So if we have seen, the way of using registering variables is similar to the way we have used, same as the way we have used register and the variable name in which we want to store the task output. So all right, so I have created this task. Now let me run this playbook. No, I don't want to run, I want to print this output in the next task. So how I can do, I will add one more debug task over here and print whatever I stored. I'll add the task over here. Okay, got it. Now let me print the output over here. Okay, now let me update this message. Um, Something like the installation output is, I will add this variable name. Okay, now let me save it and run the playbook again. Ansible hyphen playbook demo.yml. As you can see, it has printed our first print statement. Now installing Apache. After the installation, then it will print my console output, whatever is saved in the register variable. There you go, it's done. So let me scroll up. Installation is done. As you can see, state is changed, means Apache has been installed now. And this is what the print statement, third task, we have written to print this task output. So the installation output is following, changed true std out, and this is all about installation output. Now say for example, out of all this output, I want to print only std out, okay, or only changed. I can simply update my Ansible playbook in a way that installation status, my variable name, dot changed. So this will only print whether it's changed or not. Let's save it and execute this playbook again. As you can see, the installation output is false, means here Apache has already been installed, and since Apache, this Ansible follows idempotency, if the change is already there in the target machine, then it will not execute those changes. So that's why the change state is false, but earlier the change state was true. Where was that? Let me show you. Here it is true because in this task it has installed this Apache 2. Now if we want to print something else, say for example if we want to print std out, instead of changer we can update it to std out, or std out lines also we will have. Let me show you that as well. um, Failed, we can print if we want whatever the value that we want to print, we can print from this dictionary, from this JSON, not dictionary. Yep. So that is how we use register variables in Ansible playbooks. So let me scroll down and show you some other types like nested variables we can use, and we do have lot more complex variables also. We can even use those variables in our Ginger to templating. Like we can even define the variables in a YAML file and use those variables in all our Ansible playbooks. So like we can import that variable file to the playbook and use the variables that are there in the Ansible variable file. So this we will cover in later point of sessions, like while covering Ansible roles. And this is another type of variable usage, command line variables. So say for example, let me open my demo.yml. So here I have three variables declared. These two are string variables and this is list variable. Now I want to provide this environment dynamically with my command line parameter. So for that I can use this hyphen hyphen extra hyphen vars flag to pass the values explicitly for the variable. Say for example, let me come here and extra hyphen vars, and I'll provide in a way that this JSON format I'll provide like um, I will provide like, I'll simply copy this first to make sure we are using all the escape characters, because we are passing in JSON format. So env name is this one. I want to provide like prod. Okay, so let me save it. No need to save. I'll simply execute. There you go, prod. But in the actual playbook we have declared it as dev, but whatever the value that we pass from command line will take higher precedence over the variables that we declare in the playbooks. So always the variables that we pass from command line will take higher precedence over the variables that we declare in Ansible playbook. So this is also we need to remember, which is like more important topic. And we do have other type of variables as well, so you can go through this documentation. I'll provide this link in the description below. You can go through this documentation to understand how to use various types of Ansible playbooks. Yep, that's all for this session. Thanks for watching.